piece of paper is the difference between you gaining an interview and not. The most important part of a CV is for it to be clear, concise and easily readable. It's all about the content.
All of our young people have CVs, but are they any good?
The one thing that you all have done is you haven't put down a personal statement, and if you have put it on the second page. Remember, a CV should only be 2 pages long. Yours is only 1, Matthew, and I think we can bulk it out a little bit.
Matthew Blewett is our new recruit. The 19-year-old has sent out more than 200 CVs and applications.
Quite a few times I have thought of just giving up, and you just want to get a job, start working.
First thing an employer looks at is the personal statement and the key skills. Some of you have got key skills on here. Some of you have no key skill competencies whatsoever. What's a key skill?
I'd say that they're the few things that you think you're particularly good at.
Well done.
Applying online is more popular than ever.
Every job description is put into that computer. And that computer picks up on matching key and buzzwords to the job description. So if you have no personal statement, where are your key and buzzwords? How is it going to select you? Have you ever thought of that?
I didn't even realise that was...
No.
She made some very good points about how to structure a CV and what should be in it.
You've talked about what you want, but you haven't talked about what you can give. The most common mistakes with CVs is not ensuring that the employer can contact you in the maximum number of ways. Spelling mistakes, grammar. Within, you've put us 2 separate words when it should be 1 word. What does that tell an employer?
That I haven't paid attention.
Exactly. Attention to detail is extremely important.
I didn't have maybe some of the knowledge I needed to write the CV to the best of my abilities, and I think now I do.
Well, they've just finished their CV workshop with Hayley Taylor. I've invited Mike Wall, the MD from the online recruiting firm JobSite, who's also a member of the ITV Business Club, and HR consultant Margaret Hanson, to tell us what they think.
They were getting to the stage that you could see the CVs was something that I would look at and actually pay attention to.
The original CVs that we first saw, I really wouldn't have taken them any further at all. However, the amended version that we saw had huge improvements, which would result in me looking them a lot more seriously and probably ending up in the yes pile.
There's no magic spell for conjuring up jobs, but with hard work and our tips, maybe our job seekers might disappear from the jobless queue a little sooner. Reshma Rumsey for Meridian Tonight.
And we'll let you know what happens. Now, as we saw earlier, there was disappointment today for the towns in our area hoping to be granted city status. The hopes of Dorchester, Bournemouth, Reading, Medway and Southend have all been dashed. And now it's merely a case of what might have been.
Well, neighbouring Brighton and Hove are combined to make the region's last new city, that of course to mark the millennium 12 years ago. So, what difference has it made there? Malcolm Shaw will tell us.
Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! December 2000 and the great and the good celebrate the towns of Brighton and Hove becoming a city. Did it herald a sunny future or turn out to be a bit of a damp squib? Steve Bassam was a leading figure in the campaign to win city status. It cost £500,000. Steve says it's achieved much more than just a change of name.
I think it's partly an attitude of mine, but I think actually it does bring something else with it. You don't get any extra powers or extra responsibilities, but it sort of gives place a recognition that perhaps it didn't have before.
The Queen granted Brighton and Hove city status as part of the Millennium celebrations. Christopher Hawtrey campaigned against the towns being merged, and he's still not convinced.
City isn't a magic word that creates something. Cities grow, essentially, and the Queen doesn't come down with a mace or whatever and anoint it on both shoulders and create a miracle.
Good afternoon, City Pad.
Many said that becoming a city would boost business and tourism. I've come to holiday rental company CityPad to find out if that's true.
When you think of a city, you think of business, enterprise, theatres, restaurants, that kind of thing. And I think if you're marketing Brighton on an international level, it's much easier to do that than if we were a town.
But there have been winners and losers. The owners of the West Pier, for example, hoped that city status would kickstart their campaign to get it restored. Well, it still hasn't happened. So what does 12 years of being a city mean to those who live and work here?
It probably was rather more successful when it was smaller and they were separate.
It's brought loads of business into the area. It's like people see it as a city, they come down to Brighton.
I think it's just, really grown probably in terms of community.
If nothing else, city status does confer membership of a select band of 66 conurbations across the country. Malcolm Shaw in the city of Brighton and Hove for Meridian Tonight.
Right, some sports headlines for you now. Nicky Henderson's become the most successful trainer in the history of the Cheltenham Festival after a quite astonishing afternoon. Horses from Henderson's Seven Barrows stables at Lambourne in Berkshire won 4 races. Finian's Rainbow completed a hat-trick as he won the day's feature race, the Queen Mother Champion Chase. Henderson has now surpassed the record of 41 festival winners, which had been held by Fulk Baldwin.
Football and Reading move into second place in the Championship following their draw last night at Doncaster. The Royals now sit in an automatic promotion place, 2 points behind Southampton and 1 ahead of West Ham. McDermott's men ended their run of 8 wins after the hosts took an early lead. Alex Pearce levelled, and despite piling on the pressure, Reading couldn't find the winner. In League 2 Aldershot's Aaron Morris gave his side an early advantage at Crawley. Gary Alexander levelled from the spot. Peter Vincent again put the shots ahead, but the hosts grabbed a late equaliser to see the points shared.
You could be a sports presenter, you could.
I do my best, Fred.
Now, can you put a price on a piece of paradise? Well, apparently you can, and it's £126,000. Anyway, that's what's being asked for a small beach hut in a beautiful part of our region.
Well, it's little more than a garden shed and has no mod cons at all, not even a loo. But there's a waiting list of people wanting to buy it mad. Kerry Swain has been for a viewing.
A little green land train is my only means of reaching the beach hut. There's also a ferry, but it doesn't run on weekdays in the winter. No cars are allowed here on Mudderford Spit, which is near Christchurch in Dorset. I'm looking for number 219. I want to say the price of the property is ridiculous, but from first sight I'm entranced.
That's the best name of a house I've ever seen.
But what do you get for £126,000?
This one sleeps 4 comfortably, but feasibly you could have 6 if you wanted to.
But what has it got in the way of mod cons?
Well, you've got a couple of solar panels on the roof to do a bit of lighting. You've got bottled gas for your... There's a couple of lights just there, which will provide a little bit of heat as well. And that's it.
Bathroom facilities?
Absolutely not.
And you can only live here between March and October. You could buy a 3-bedroomed house for the price in some parts of the country.
I don't think it's very expensive for the beach huts down here. I mean, there's some that have achieved around about 180,000.
But if you're still thinking that nobody would possibly pay that amount of money for what is, after all, a very pretty garden shed, you'd be wrong. The beach hut has just been sold.
And for the asking price. And when the next beach hut goes on sale, whatever the cost, there's a waiting list of people wanting to buy. Kerry Swain in Mudderford for Meridian Tonight.
£126,000, but the problem for you would be the lack of the loo.
Yes, that would be a problem, and also I could think of better ways that I could spend that money. For example, a nice car, maybe a nice property abroad. What would I want to do with a beach hut?
And a nice present for me.
And of course, Fred, top of my list.
You could almost buy Pompey.
Yeah, I could buy you Portsmouth, indeed. Well, let's get all the weather details now. Here's Luke Castiglione.
We can't guarantee you a sunny day, but we could help you find the right tradesperson. Checkatrade.com sponsors Meridian Weather.
Checkatrade.com. Hello, good evening. We ended up seeing some sunshine today, but tomorrow it will be a much improved day. With more mist and fog patches dense at times through tonight, and it will be cold with temperatures near freezing in some places. So tomorrow morning starting off misty and murky again, but that mist and low cloud will clear quickly as we go into the afternoon, allowing some warm spells of sunshine at a high of around 15 or 16 degrees. Checkatrade.com.
Oh, for many people, the day job can be just that little bit tedious. So have you ever wondered what it would be like to do something completely different?
Well, tomorrow night we're going to see why volunteers are needed as lighthouse keepers in Kent. Our reporter David Johns visits the historic South Foreland Lighthouse to find out about its past, present and future.
We wonder, could you be the little ray of light the building's been looking out for? That's tomorrow night at 6.
On Meridian tonight. And that's all from us this evening. Coming up after the break is the ITV News.
If you've been watching on London Tonight, you should get your late news back at the normal time. Whatever, join us again tomorrow if you can.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.